Hello and welcome to the Data Break Podcast, episode 100. No, not 100. 70. Just 70 for the week of April 27th, 2017. I'm your host, James, and with me today we have Ravenstorm Barker.
Hi there.
And Max Lee, no relation.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? It's been a while. I know our recording has been a little bit sporadic as of late. I'm sure as our time gets freed up in the next few weeks, I believe. You guys have finals soonish, I imagine.
In like 2 weeks.
Sounds about right. And our schedules might clear up a little more. Anyways, this week, I don't know what we're gonna talk about really, because there's been so long since our last podcast, and that it seems kind of weird for us to just come back and talk about news when there's been so much happening between our last podcast and this podcast. But anyways, I just want to know how are you guys doing? Max, yeah.
I guess I've been having a good time, but mostly pretty busy.
Busy's
School,
good.
maybe the YouTube channel, good kind of busy, not the bad kind of busy. I feel productive.
Oh, that's good. Ravenstorm, got any news to share?
I've been okay. Not really news. I bought a new lens for my camera. It's a 50mm prime lens, and I'm pretty sure my camera body is not a full frame camera.
No,
and so
no one thinks
it's
so.
I'm basically shooting with a 75mm lens.
Okay.
But like the equivalent field of view. But I really like it because when I hold it up to my face and I look through it with one eye and look without a camera with the other eye, the size of everything is the same. So it seems like I'm capturing a frame directly out of my field of vision, which is really neat because it's sort of like I'm starting to see the frame. Like I'll just look around and I'll be able to know, can I take this picture? And that's pretty neat. I really enjoy photography, and my lens broke in December.
Right.
So I've been out of it for months. I'm finally posting some stuff on 500px.
Ooh,
probably
you gotta link us to that.
Probably plug myself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's really funny. It's like you're like, oh, I broke my kit lens. I guess I gotta buy a prime.
Honestly, I like the prime a lot better.
Oh, I'm not surprised. No, primes are great.
I couldn't tell you why, but like, it's just really sharp. I sent you that picture, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. Just like some guy's phone. I mean, it's kind of creepy, but also awesome.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to I didn't post that anywhere.
I mean, he didn't have anything on it. He was taking a photo of something. So really, you were taking a photo.
No, and that's the
of a
point.
photo.
That's the point. And I was like, okay, so this guy was putting up a theater marquee down on K Street, and some guy was taking a picture of the guy putting up the theater marquee on his phone. And I was able to get a picture where I placed the guy putting up the marquee just out of view, and you could see the contents of the screen, like down to almost the letters, on the phone. It was I was proud of that. I am proud of that, even though it's like
It's a good look.
kind of mediocre, semi creepy.
It's semi creepy.
It's okay. I wanted to be a photographer since I was like 10 years old, guys.
Yeah, no.
This is like a
Photography's
childhood dream.
fun. Speaking of cameras, actually.
Photojournalist.
Yeah. Speaking of cameras, actually, Sony announced their new mirrorless full frame camera. Their like flagship. I don't know if you guys like keep up with cameras, but like, up till now, Sony's had their A7 series, A7S, A7R2, blah 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 blah. I think this past week or so they announced their A9, and it shoots like 20 frames per second continuous. Just like if you think about it, like 24 frames is a film, right? So if they get any faster, you could basically record a silent film at like crazy resolution. We're talking like 27 megapixels.
That's what I want in a video camera. Holy shit.
Yeah.
If I could have a DSLR looking video camera.
That'd be ridiculous.
Can you imagine the file size though?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's okay because Intel has introduced
Nice,
Oh my
nice,
God,
nice
these
segue.
guys.
Nice
Intel
segue.
has introduced their fucking ridiculous new item.
Do you have any specs on it?
Okay, so it's 3D X Point, Intel 3D X
Right,
Point.
that's the technology they've been touting for quite a
technology.
while.
Right. And so, hold on, where are my specs? Okay, so first spec, it's $1,520 and mounts in your
How much
PCIe
How much does it
slot.
get you?
375 gigabytes. That's an incredible amount of money per gigabyte.
Which one is it?
But-
Is it the P4800X?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh my goodness, this thing looks insane. How many megabytes a second does it read? How many gigabytes? A second does
Megabytes.
it read?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So,
So for those who aren't like really into SSDs, up till now, SSDs have been up till recently rather, SSDs have sort of been based on NAND flash, right?
Yeah.
I think NAND stands for not and. It's a computing thing. I'm really bad at that sort of stuff, so I don't remember. But I believe, and then recently we've had NVMe flash. I think. Man, I'm really bad at SSDs. It's just not, I shouldn't be reporting on SSDs. Basically, we used to have regular SSDs. Now we have really fast SSDs, and now Intel's got even faster SSDs using their X Point technology. And surprise, surprise, it's really fast.
I'm not even sure what, like the specs they use to express how fast data moves through it. I'm not familiar with
Okay,
at all.
just to put it into perspective, your average SSD, your good one, like your good one that you put in your flash drive or your laptop or your
According
performance desktop.
According to their product brief, its 99% read response time is 60 times that of a high endurance NAND SSD under random write workload.
That's sort of accurate.
So given that I remember back in the days of the disk drive, my computers would take
100
minutes
megabytes
to
a
boot up.
second. Oh yeah.
Minutes to boot up. And then SSDs came around, and my computer boots up in under 20 secs. Now, and mine is like a low end SSD.
Mm-hmm.
Low end. This is being able to touch a button and the computer comes on just like that. That's what this offers.
I love it.
And more, and way more. Like, start several computers with that.
Yeah.
What do you mean back in the day?
Back in the day, well, that's like half my lifetime ago, so,
I feel so primitive.
I was thinking about this, and I built my PC in 2011. That was 6 years ago. Do you know how fast technology moves in 6 years?
Yes.
2011 was 6 years ago. I can't believe it. Like DirectX 11 started 7 years ago, which is ridiculous.
We still on DirectX? We're still doing that?
DirectX 11, hell yeah. And, like people are trying to adopt DirectX 12 now, but I mean it's like kind of gradual, and you don't.
Just like DirectX 11 was.
Yeah, basically that's usually how it works, right? By the time DirectX 13 comes out, everyone's going to be using DirectX 12. Yeah.
Right, but that's okay. Circle of life. I'll be right back.
Circle of development, I guess. Side note, actually, it's funny going to school studying computing and computer science as at the same time the HBO show Silicon Valley is airing.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like you watch that show and like some of the humor becomes increasingly relevant. And it makes you laugh and also kind of sad at the same time. Because it's just like you're like, oh, this is relatable in a funny way and this is relatable in a sad way, type thing. I can't point out any. I can't remember any like specific ones, but I watched like the season premiere last night and it was pretty funny. Anyways, but yeah, so like this new SSD is flipping fast. I don't know what kind of applications would make use of it, to be honest. Like, I know I use an SSD for my obviously my OS, but also at work at least I use an SSD for my virtual machine as well, and that is a godsend because I used to like spend like a minute booting up my virtual machine, and another minute, closing the virtual machine. Like, when you first boot up your computer for the day, it's not a big deal because I walk into my cubicle, I turn on the computer, take off my jacket, settle in, and by the time I'm done settling in, my computer's booted. But virtual machine is a little different because that's when you're actually I need to do things on my virtual machine and all that. But I digress. But yeah, so SSDs are getting faster. Surprise, surprise. Flashes are getting kind of expensive though. I've been meaning to get an SSD recently, and prices have not gone down.
I think they just reached a stable point.
I think Flash has been in high demand due to smartphones. Right?
There's just no competitor. Like this is the thing. That's what makes this SSD interesting. This is a whole new technology.
Speaking of smartphones, actually, are you guys in the market for a new one as of late, or no?
Well, the battery on mine is bloating, so probably.
I don't know how you haven't gotten that replaced yet, dude. That sounds dangerous. That's like a little bomb in your pocket.
Allahu Akbar. Jesus Christ. I mean, well, let's see. I went to my local AT&T dealership. Well, they don't replace batteries anymore. The only Samsung
Tell them
place
to replace your goddamn phone.
isn't. My warranty's passed.
The fuck? Really?
It's 1 year warranty, unless you buy extended, which I should have.
Well,
or I could, yeah.
It doesn't make sense for your warranty. The life cycle of phones is absolutely ridiculous and super it's super wasteful in my opinion. That's what it is really. Like, I mean, it's like social standard, for our middle class society to get a new phone every 2 years.
Yeah.
And every phone costs like $800, and the prices are just increasing. You're like, rumors are like the new Apple phones are going to be like $1,000.
Jesus Christ.
You know why?
You could already get a $1,000 phone from Apple if you get the 128 gigabyte version. But why?
Inelastic demand.
Yeah.
But I could go to a local phone fixing shop, and for like $70, they will replace a battery.
Are you gonna go get that done?
Eventually. Or I could just wait for it to explode and tear off my legs.
Yeah. Or that.
If I need a new phone anytime soon, I'm just gonna get my OnePlus 3 repaired. Got a broken screen.
Yeah. Are you on a Samsung now? Your S7 now?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice though, right?
It's okay.
It's okay.
I like the other one better.
That really? I'll bet. Yeah. I'm unfortunately I also adhere to the 2 year cycle, the wasteful 2 year cycle, the destructive 2 year cycle.
USB-C, bro.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that my Samsung phone is just like the battery is just so terrible. It's just abysmal. So I don't know. I'm gonna see what I can do, but I'm right now actually it's interesting is that I'm going to side grade probably when it comes time, because my brother is he's gonna upgrade his work phone sometime in late summer, and they let him keep the phone so after they wipe it, of course. So I might actually hop over to the iPhone 6 and see what the hubbub is about. I'm very curious. At the same time, though, I'm a little wary.
Honestly, as someone who lauded Apple from afar and then had Apple for a short time, then lost Apple, I can tell you it's okay. It takes getting used to, and there's a learning curve, just like everything else. I think the back key on the Android phone, like the hardware back key, is the best thing.
I love it.
Fuck iPhone design.
You have to reach up to the top left, right? Every single time.
Yeah, which is just anatomically not pleasant.
No bueno. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just need good base hardware, and then I could deal with shitty software forever, really. But if your hardware is failing on me, then I don't know. I have nothing to say to you. And Qualcomm. Yeah, I have nothing to say because I mean the processor burned out my microphone. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm
well.
just kidding. That didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, like my phone gets really hot, so I think the latest update actually underclocked it, so it doesn't do that, which is super dumb. Like when you're forcing hardware manufacturers to like triple your hardware just so it works properly, you done fucked up.
I mean, isn't it because of the demand that everyone wants smaller phones but longer battery lives, so they get these experimental batteries?
Hey, I just want I'd use a phone that's the iPhone 7 size. I like the iPhone 7 Plus size.
Oh, you want a
that
big
size.
phone? Okay.
Twice as thick, and it lasts for days. I'd do that.
Yeah,
honestly,
sure. I don't care.
Honestly, I don't care about thickness. It's about dimensions. Like
yeah, I mean, I thought THICC was in. I don't know.
Yep.
Thick.
Extra thick.
Extra
Yeah,
thick.
That extra thick sounded super aesthetic, Max. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I get a higher battery, but I mean, I charge throughout the day, so it's not a big deal. But I shouldn't have to, right? I shouldn't have to.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so I've exhausted basically all of our topics for this week that I really want to talk about. Oh, there's one more big thing. The current FCC chairman, Sundar Pichai, I believe, has announced his plans to basically roll back net neutrality. So, all the protections that are involved with net neutrality, Title 3, Title 4, I forget, are going to be reversed unless, of course, people make enough of a ruckus about, which you should make a ruckus about. We should definitely be, Title 2, which means, the internet is more of like a utility instead of an information service. Which, I mean, I personally believe that the internet is a utility that, we need to survive daily life.
Yeah.
Now,
like, don't hold me that, like, don't serve me that bullshit that you don't have to use the internet.
No, I was thinking the other day.
You don't have to wear clothes either.
I was riding on the light rail and I was watching this guy fool with this older phone. Like, obviously, it was not current generation. It seemed like pre-Galaxy S3 level, or just like a really low-grade smartphone from like subsidized.
Right.
And it was really slow, and his connection was really slow, and it was obvious from the frustration on his face and like the way he was using it that it wasn't doing what he wanted it to. And I realized in that moment the difference between a high-speed 4G LTE connection or high-speed broadband connection and a non-high-speed connection. Being able to connect to the internet is very, very different from being able to fluently traverse it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that broadband internet should be, like, just high-speed internet should be something that we give everyone.
Yeah.
All people should have that.
Absolutely. You should have resources.
Thing is, though, like, considering what happened with the Board of Education and whatnot, I'm not thinking the net neutrality issue is going to go our way either.
I mean, there's separate departments, so I wouldn't be so pessimistic, Max. Just for the sake of not being pessimistic, I either way, I highly recommend that you write to your congressman, email them even if you have to. Writing, like, having physical letters is a lot more effective, because like if their mailboxes are flooded, that sends a lot more of a message than you have 999 new emails. So
some of them don't even read their emails at all.
Yeah, see,
they don't. It's like, just too overwhelming. Do a phone call.
I think this is actually a good topic of discussion. Is public perception of technology. Like, this is kind of sad. Really, we're like 2 decades into the digital age, and people don't know how shit works.
Yeah.
Like, I firmly like. We're seeing it more often now, right? With people teaching kids how to code, blah blah blah, but you're increasingly seeing you see people that like are even our age, and they don't really know how their computer works, or they don't really know how the internet works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like if you don't know how the internet works and how your computer works, how could you expect someone in Congress to understand how it works and why net neutrality is so important? So
they all get briefed by lobbyists anyway. Like, that's their job, is not to read the laws or even to write the laws. They're just there to hold the place.
Right. And so when you have a skewed definition of what the internet does and how it works, then of course you're going to write backwards legislation, because that's how you think it works. So tech literacy, like this stuff needs to, like, we sit in front of our computers all day. Like, we're nerds, right? We're tech savvy. We're considered, we are what people would consider tech savvy millennials, right? But even my peers,
digital natives is the term I've been hearing.
Yes, that one. Yeah, I heard that one too. But like, even some so-called digital natives are, I would say, like, they don't have like a super strong understanding of how technology works. I'll bet if you go into your classroom tomorrow morning and ask people what they think of net neutrality, I don't think you'll get that strong of a response.
The thing is, it's very difficult to have a strong response to it, because the entire subject of it is sort of out of people's common realm of operation. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that's what the past.
Don't care who's getting priority on bandwidth. Like,
that's what the past 40 years have been for. Like, it's been streamlining the process.
There's no dialogue can be had on it, I think.
Right.
Because people haven't experienced the lack of neutrality.
No, there can't be a dialogue unless there is an understanding of the harms of it.
Yeah.
And the concrete impacts on people's lives.
Right. There's this really nice flyer, like it's like a scare flyer that I saw back in the day when we were first fighting for net neutrality with Tom Wheeler under the administration, and everyone thought that Tom Wheeler was some corporate shill. I mean, after all, he used to work for Comcast, right? Like, yeah. Of course, people were very weary of him, so everyone was very very strongly minded about getting stopping making sure net neutrality stays alive and all that. And there's this really good flyer I saw that was like basically selling the internet like a TV package, right? And what the sad thing is that regular consumers would eat that shit up, because I mean, of course they would. Why? Like they know it's weird because people know how analog services work, right?
Like, so you're saying you could just buy, let's say, Facebook.
Yeah, you buy Facebook.
It came with Facebook,
Google,
and YouTube, and Netflix, and Hulu. And like, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just get select channels of the internet.
Yeah. And what's
That's
sad?
Scary. Oh.
And what's sad is that people would absolutely understand that. They understand how that works, but they don't understand that
it's all I use anyway.
That's exactly what they're gonna say.
Dangerous. Ooh. You don't need a library full of books because you only read the Bible. It's okay.
You only read fashion blogs.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you.
Another issue is with culture right now is that there are people who are actively against being tech literate or science literate. They fight against all of it, calling it a belief instead of fact, and
that's a discussion for another time. But the
unfortunately, I think there's that's a lot more complicated than it seems.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But my main point was that tech literacy at a fundamental level needs to be taught at the same level as, say, biology or history or, English, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it should be. English is the best, I think, analog. Because
Right.
holy shit, man.
Well, I guess. I mean, also, like, I think like analogs to the natural sciences work because, I mean, you want to know how things work too. You need to teach kids how the internet works and how computers work, so that they know what's going on when they use a computer and when they use the internet.
Precisely.
As opposed to magic. Like, people will literally think that just honestly, I think the public perception is that technology is magic. Like, that's what public perception.
It's gotten to that. Okay, so it's totally gotten to that point.
Yeah, we've said it ourselves. Like,
It's
this shit is absolute magic.
100%.
Those SSDs, freaking magic.
Yeah, how do you do that? How do you have something that's roughly the same size, yet so much different? It's made out of it's the same size, it's made out of the same stuff, but the engineering, the design behind it.
Right. This phone is half the size of my old phone, but it does so much more processing power. Oh, but the battery life's the same.
Yeah, see, even things like that, that's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, like, it naturally does not make sense, but people have to learn how these things work and how tech is, built and made and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's my little spiel, little bit of my soapboxing for today, for this episode. But it's important, and you should care. We don't like to get political on this podcast in particular. That is for a different podcast, probably something that Ravenstorm.
My still upcoming. I've told you I'd upload it, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
I haven't gone through and edited everything, and I still have yet to make music for it.
Right.
Honestly, like, it's, I just enjoy getting together with friends and talking.
And recording.
We'll probably have Chuck on here sometime, but he's got a weird schedule.
Who?
Chuck, my co-host.
Oh, I would love to have him on at some point.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, so it's just but net neutrality is something that is non-negotiable, in my opinion, at least.
But okay, so here's the question. Okay, should we be focused on current internet technology, or should we be more focused on overarching freedom of expression issues that go along with it?
What do you mean? Like,
because, like, okay, so the commercial, the buying and selling of bandwidth that striking down net neutrality allows.
Right.
It's like, yes, that it does allow for more monopolistic operation of certain firms, I guess, but I don't understand what the big issue is for people like you and me.
Well, the big issue,
You know
like,
what I mean?
for people like you and me, is that you have to pay more. Like, at the end of the day, for the average consumer, it means that you have to pay more for Netflix, or your Netflix is going to be slower.
Yeah,
That's what people care about, right?
basically. So you reduce the competition in the market.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they can then set the price instead of take the price.
I mean, prices are already increasing every year. They're just going to increase at an even faster rate.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man.
Maybe that's how you convince people. Just tell them that their internet bills are going to go up.
Your internet's going to slow down and your bill's going to be higher.
Because people hate losing money. Even if they don't care about their rights,
Yeah, no.
they hate losing money.
Who needs rights? You have your tokens. You have your free speech tokens. It's great.
Yeah. And corporations get all the tokens they ever want.
Right. Because they're people. They're people who can't die, and they're people who can't be imprisoned. But they're people.
Isn't it so that a person is able to sue a company? Isn't that why corporations legally became people?
I don't know, actually. I think corporations became people so you know what? I don't know.
Because to my knowledge, it was so that when a person
was
hates
it?
a company, he would sue specifically the
What is going on?
that's on your end.
Yeah, I know. It was playing out of the microphone.
Huh.
Believe it or not.
Wait,
That's
what?
impressive.
What?
I did not expect that at all.
That's impressive. Might
Huh.
goes two
Yeah,
ways.
it kind of is. Wow.
Huh.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
so okay, yeah. So that I think that's that. Okay, that's really all the news I have for this week. I have exhausted all of my news. I have nothing else to talk about as far as current events go that I would like to talk about at least. There are apparently things I don't want to talk about. I think not even. I'm at a loss for articles this week. But in the meantime, I'm sure we could talk about other things. So, what do you guys have on your plates?
Shall I go first
Yeah.
or?
Wait, what do you got for us, Max?
Oh, what about the moon? As I mentioned before, what was it called?
Enchilada.
Yeah,
Enchilada, hot enchiladas.
Well, yeah. Well, speaking of hot, though, Enceladus, one of the moons of Saturn, another moon with an ice surface like Europa and all of that. NASA found evidence of heat coming out of the holes in the ice, which means there is internal heat within the moon, which also means geysers and all of that, which probably will also mean liquid water that can sustain life.
That's cool. I mean, it's very cool.
We're gonna discover life in our solar system. Great.
Well, I don't think that's the case.
Be hopeful, and be disappointed. It's like, though, no one ever looked at this moon and thought it might have life. People always looked at Europa or Titan.
Right. Yeah.
All you need is water and heat and time.
I
It has
suppose so.
those things.
Probably bacteria helps. Actual life probably helps.
I mean, I'm not expecting large multi-celled organisms. I'm just expecting small bacteria.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah, no, it's cool. I always I always wanted to wonder what it would look like to live on a moon, like as far as the sky is concerned. I always thought that was amazing. Oh, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's
Imagine
cool.
being on one of Saturn's moons. Holy shit, that would be cool.
Speaking of moons, the latest.
Wow, what a segue.
The latest Star Citizen. So
Oh,
did you hear about the Star Citizen? The Star Citizen road to 3.0.
the roadmap. Yes. Oh,
Yes.
oh. We're gonna get planets, guys.
We finally get to starting this summer. We get to land on moons. So I'm very excited for that.
That is gonna. I'm gonna have to upgrade my computer. I think I'm gonna have to upgrade my.
What do you got? 980 and a 4670K, 4960K.
I might just buy another 980.
4690K, 4690K. I think you're fine. The problem, I mean, obviously you're getting low FPS in Star Citizen because the network sucks, right? Their network
Right.
infrastructure sucks. So once they fix
True.
that, it's fine. If you ever played single player in Star Citizen, it's perfectly smooth. Like
that's true.
I get no frame drops, so I think you're fine. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Sorry to burst your bubble over on actual science, not science fiction, Max. But
My bubble has been burst.
apologies.
Sadness.
How are you gonna get out of this one?
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
But yeah. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited for the next Star Citizen update. I'm sure I speak for everyone when we say it's about time.
I was promised this. I am entitled. Where is it? It better be perfect, and it better be soon.
Right. I mean, obviously, that doesn't.
I
really
bought
have
this
to.
game. I bought the ship. I contributed. Now where's my share?
Where's my share?
Where's my keep?
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, like, I don't have that much investment in in
Spent
Star Citizen.
$600 in it.
Like I threw $45 at it, and like it's been a fun thing to experiment with and keep up with. If the project ends up being a failure, that's disappointment to be sure. But that's how things go, I guess. But as far as I hope it finishes eventually. That's all.
Honestly, if they dropped the prices on their ships and dropped the price of playing this, I bet more people would be into it.
Yeah.
I'd buy more ships. Like, if I could buy a $15 ship every time I got paid, I would.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair. I would buy ships all the time. I'd have a small fleet, but I don't think that's what people want. I think people want. I also like the idea that like instead of being, the alternative of like having that fleet of ships because every month you buy a new ship. Instead, you have one ship and you're very attached to it. I kind of like that narrative more. Like the experience of like owning a ship and like making it yours. Like, I mean, obviously, like everyone draws parallels. Like I want to be Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly, and I want to maintain my ship and love my ship.
I'd rather be Malcolm Reynolds than Han Solo, any day. Apparently,
yeah.
Apparently.
I don't know, dude. I kind of like the new antenna on the Falcon. I'm just kidding. No, but I just like the idea of being attached. I mean, it's so petty. Being attached to.
I understand where you're coming from, but I mean, like as far as raising funds for the game goes, if they're having a hard time making their quotas and everything to pay their people,
they're actually not. They're well funded. They appear to be well funded. So
I bet.
I mean, there are whales who are buying every ship, anyways. So
yeah, well, I mean, like they're one of the most funded
Kickstarter game of all time.
Yeah, like the most expensive game.
Yeah. They have the budgets that normally a game under a huge publisher could have.
Mm-hmm. They should go until they beat Avatar. They should go until they beat Modern Warfare 2.
Mm-hmm.
They should go until they beat everything.
Right.
And then it'll be the most expensive. That'll basically become the hallucination machine that everyone.
Well, I think it's already the second most expensive game ever.
Would the first be GTA 5?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And GTA 5 was just most of the most expensive games to develop. So.
Wait, this expensive to produce? I figure that was expensive to produce.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's not on this. It's not on this one, I guess.
What about you, James?
As far as
what have you been up to?
That's a good one. I'm hopefully getting a car this summer, so I'll be happy about that. As expected, I have been falling further and further down the rabbit hole that is mechanical keyboards.
God damn it!
So, how far? What have you done?
Well, actually, I'm toning back. Because I've run into a bit of, I wouldn't say financial difficulty, but I do need to be a little bit more conscious than I was before. So not only am I spending less on keyboards, but I'm also selling keyboards back. So this is where I get my return from all my spending habits.
I see.
So you're a keyboard dealer now? You sell keyboards so you could buy keyboards.
Hey kid, you want a keyboard? First switch is free.
I'll clean your switches. Just give me a couple bucks. I'll clean your switches. I swear.
Right. So, but no. I'm much more. Interesting. Halo MMO. Did you know that?
What?
Did you know there was a Halo MMO that was supposed to be produced by Microsoft Game Studios, $90 million, and it was canceled?
Yes.
There were a lot. Okay, which time was this? Around Halo 4's time?
I have no clue. This was I have no idea what this is from.
Because during Halo 4's time, after Reach and before and after the release of 4, there were apparently a lot of smaller Halo projects by multiple companies, some indie, some not. and they were all swept under the rug and not released publicly.
Right.
Like a Halo Megabox game.
They didn't want to tarnish their reputation.
Well, it's because they were thinking we want Halo to stay serious and all that, but since Halo 5 was basically Marvel superheroes, except in Spartan costumes, they're more open to side projects now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the MCU doesn't just ruin its own properties, it also ruins the Halo as well.
Microsoft.
Anyway,
They'll get it.
yeah,
It's
it's
okay.
fine.
They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They'll be fine.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just staring at that webpage while I was talking about keyboards and I got distracted. I was actually thinking about looking at and
Thinking about looking at it?
thinking about looking at and interviewing various artisan keycap makers. Ravenstorm, are you familiar with artisan keycaps?
You have told me this story and this before, but I would like.
Well, no,
I
I'm not
think
talking about.
the
I'm
audience-
not talking about the key sets. I'm not talking about the key sets, but the keycaps, like
Keycaps, yes.
individual ones.
Yeah. No, you told me.
Okay. So yeah. Like I'm.
But
It's-
do rehash, please.
So. Okay. Let me put on my Roman Mars voice. I can't do this. I can't do it. This is 99% invisible. So artisan keycaps are it's an individual keycap that you put on your mechanical keyboard, and it is an artisan. So it's like a little piece of art. It's like a little sculpted piece of art. Depending on what you like. Some people like to do blanks, so like they just put different colors in it, different designs. There's really cool ones where like the sculpt is like a regular keycap, but it's awesome. Like there's like a little oasis inside, or there's like a little tree inside, or there's like a weird design. I have one that's basically a blank, but it has the jazz solo cup design on it. It's awesome.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
But there's also sculpted designs. So like I have one that looks like a pufferfish. I have one that looks like a little cat. And you would be surprised how much work is put into these like sculpts and like the community support behind them. It's very interesting. But of course, because of the time put into these individual keycaps, these guys cannot sell enough to meet demand, right? These keycaps are put out in little batches at a time. It's like, okay,
So the price should go up, right?
it's not even price. It exceeds price at some points. So, for example, about 2 weeks ago, there was a like the method of selling artisan keycaps is very different than traditional selling of keycaps. What happens is that an artist teases their artisan keycaps and they're like, hey guys, I'm making these keycaps, right? And then a few days later the artist is like, okay, I'm going to set up a raffle for these. So, enter your information in this Google Doc. I'll put it in a spreadsheet, and then I will select, depending on how many keycaps they have on hand, of course, this many people to be able to purchase a keycap, right? So it's a raffle system. And then, they get the keycap, and then, blah, 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 blah. And then they get their keycap, and then they send it out, and then they ship it. Of course, because of that, not everyone who wants a keycap will get a keycap, which means there's a lot of trading going around, or selling, or buying, and in worst cases, flipping. So like, you'll see people who like just bought a keycap, like who like the who just won a raffle, and then they will sell a keycap for literally 5 times the price of what they paid.
Yeah.
Super scummy. So what I'd like to do either this summer when I'm able to be in contact with various artisan makers of the community, would be to talk to them about their process, how they build their sculpts, what their artistic process is, and like how they combat flippers and scammers and all that sort of stuff. It's just a really interesting look into like a very niche hobby, which I like.
I'm glad you've actually followed through with this rabbit hole. That's nice.
It's a very rewarding community, I think. You make a lot of friends, and like you learn a lot about people and stuff. and
Expensive.
like it's expensive, yeah, but it also motivates you to improve yourself. Like I've learned how to solder because of it, right?
Yeah.
I want to learn about circuit board design because of it and stuff like that. It's fun stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been really getting into. I guess we're kind of doing like what we've been producing, consuming, etc. But what are you guys up to? Like Ravenstorm, like what are you checking out these days?
Oh gosh, man, I have 19 fewer hours per week now to do hobby stuff and free time stuff. And so I've basically been going to school, going to work, smoking weed, and
Blaze it.
yeah, no, and like I don't even play video games that often. Like I don't have the time. I simply don't have the time. And that sucks for a lot of reasons. I've had to pare down some of my hobbies. I read a lot less than I used to. But I did buy a new lens for my camera. I have a Nikon D3300, and I just bought a 50mm prime lens for it. And oh my goodness, it's perfect for how I like to shoot. And it's just so the bokeh is the creamiest.
Creamy bokeh.
Yeah. It's got 1.8 f-stop, which is like really, it's a really wide aperture, and so you can get that creamy bokeh.
Right.
And I'm gonna take that up, sort of more seriously. Carry my camera around with me everywhere, and I just like taking pictures, and I'm probably gonna be doing a lot more of that, printing them up, good quality paper and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Got my bow strung, so I'm also taking up archery as like my new physical
Oh, really?
activity hobby.
Interesting.
Oh.
I didn't hear about this. Interesting. So like,
Yeah, no, I found a recurve bow at an estate sale. I was working, and I got it strung up in Rockland the other day for about $14. Bought some arrows, and unfortunately, right now the archery range, the public archery range at Discovery Park, is flooded.
Oh.
But in the summer, that will be not the case, and it'll be really good to get out and do something I can work at and get better at as I go on.
right.
I've been playing a lot of mandolin. That's still a big thing in my life. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have time for anything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think I like being busy though. I think it's rewarding, enriching. I mean, obviously we all want like time to breathe, but
yeah, I suppose. I mean, work has definitely given me a special perspective on things. I have a couple of coworkers who have been out of school a while, and they're working the same job I am, making the same money I am, and they're not going to school. And that makes me appreciate going to school a lot, because the difference between working this job and not going to school and working this job and going to school is massive, man. Like that's I'm glad I'm upward bound. I'm glad I'm moving to something better inevitably,
Hmm.
hopefully, because $10 an hour work is just not satisfying work.
yeah, that's
Wah, wah.
yeah. But you know, it pays bills and gives you opportunities to do other things that are not working. So
Yep. That's okay, but that's an interesting trait. Yeah, it does.
right.
It does. But I haven't been working long enough to like reap those rewards. My savings aren't big enough. My travel fund's not big enough.
Yeah, you get there.
Yeah,
you get
I
there
know,
faster
I
than
know,
you
I know.
think. Believe me.
I hope so,
Um,
because I need to do something exciting this summer. Something life changing.
I think we could arrange something.
Hmm.
Yep. Road trip. Data Brick Boys.
It'd be fun.
Record on the road.
Yep.
That would be fun. I would very much enjoy that. Cool. Max, how about you? You got anything you've been working on?
I mean, since the last time, I think the only thing I made was that Pepsi video. I know,
Did we talk
James,
about that?
you've seen it.
Oh my goodness. I love the Pepsi video. Okay, to be clear, I'm not talking about the terrible Pepsi ad from a while back. That was thoroughly terrible. I am talking.
That was obviously beautiful due to the memes, but
No, it wasn't worth it, Max.
I mean, haven't you seen the footage? Like, guys go to actual protests and try to hand out Pepsi.
That's one. Okay, that's kind of funny, but no, I'm talking about Max's recent video on the video game Pepsi Man, and his teardown of it is amazing. I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna have to see this, Max. In all honesty, I haven't been following up on your YouTube channel. Again, no time for anything, but I will definitely be looking at
I think
this.
after the podcast,
Alright.
I think you should watch it. It's absolutely worth it.
All right, so I won't spoil it then.
But yeah, so that I highly recommend watching that when you can. It's a great analysis of something absolutely mundane and old and outdated. Awesome. Yeah, cool. I don't know. We had a pretty meandering podcast this week, but I'm glad we got some cool topics in.
Yep.
I hope next time we have even more interesting things to talk about.
Yes.
Namely, actually, no, I'm not. I have nothing to say quite yet. Actually, maybe if I get some projects in, I'll talk about them.
Yeah, it's like I feel like once the semester comes to a close and we have some time to do personal things, then things will be a little bit more interesting. We'll have time to catch up adequately on everything that's been going on. Because no time, can't pay attention to anything that isn't directly relevant to my life.
Right. Exactly.
I realize why adults are generally like sort of disaffected and resigned. It's just because you don't have the fucking time to think about anything else.
Yeah, it's like, what's this net neutrality stuff? I'm trying to pay bills here.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, guys, like, let's change the world. Well, we need to think about being alive first, and unfortunately, that's harder than it sounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Applause.
This got pretty deep.
No, it's just
Keep it real. The realist.
the realist. Okay, all right. I think that does it for this week. If you guys want to follow us, check us out on the YouTubes. You can find Max on the YouTubes. Ravenstorm, I want to see your pics.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna check out what my URL is here real quick, because I've been on 500px, the photography community website, for those of you who are unfamiliar, so it's 500px.com/Ravenstorm MLABARCON. Ravenstorm M Labark.
I will put that in the show notes.
Yep.
Awesome. And of course, you can find Max in his video link is in the show notes as well. And by show notes, I mean the video description. This dank outro, of course, brought to you by Grant Webster. Check his link in the video description. And I think that's about it. That does it for this week. So thank you for listening. On behalf of Ravenstorm Labarkin and Max Lee and myself, we will see you next time.
And skip over a moon that possibly has life so that we could talk about a video game.
Yep.
Hey, James, let me burst your bubble. No season 2 of